Grognard back here with another episode, and we're going to do a little mailbag episode again today. Got a few emails from the old email bag. First of all, I'd like to thank Tim Snyder and Jack Hellenbrand for emailing me. Thanks, guys. I appreciate the leg up, and I've got a couple more here. The first one's from Luis Alfaro from Spain. He says hello from Spain. And I'm just posting an email to say thank you. Love your new show on YouTube. Lots of good advice and ideas for DMs. Thank you, Lewis. And he said he's going to be running possibly Caverns of Thracia in the near future. Lucky him. I don't have a copy of that. I think he's going through Lost City of Baracus with Swords and Wizardry right now. But he asked me, I would like to know your advice on how to run 05R, which is AD&D 5th edition, and what's your impression on 5e modules or conversions if you did play any. I'm currently on the starter box Philandin and love it. My players come from Swords of Wizardry, Pathfinder, and 3X and love the new system. We play as close to OSR as possible. My idea is to migrate the big Baracus Swords of Wizardry campaign into 5e on January using the quick and dirty sheet, and he gives me a link. Should be enough to have fun, and probably Frog God or Necromancer will have the Tome of Horrors converted soon and will be perfect. Best regards from Barcelona, Lewis. Thanks for the email, Lewis. 5e. I can only tell you from the player's perspective, it's pretty slick. I'm still, got my roots in the OSR, so I prefer to run my own, but as a player, not bad. It's got ascending armor class, which I deal with pretty much, and fortitude, ref, and will saves, things like that. But some of the things like if you have advantage or disadvantage on a roll, rolling 2d20 and take the best or the worst of them, I think is a great idea. If I end up running basic again, I'm probably going to steal that. Also, I'm going to steal the cantrips. I like the way they use the cantrips in there. Just little spells you can toss off. And let me tell you, I'm playing a wizard right now. I'm playing a magic user in my friend's 5e campaign, and it'll be about, I think every third game I may pop off a regular spell because the cantrips are so damn useful. They really are. Anybody with any kind of creative bone in their body can use these things. I've used it anywhere from like taking somebody out to scaring the crap out of people, and just basically using as they're great for diversions. They really are. They are. Those are the two things I like. What I don't care for is all the background baggage, or what I call background baggage, because to me, that's what it is. They basically give you like plot points. You can earn a plot point for doing something great that the DM thinks that you can use to maybe re-roll a roll later on, which is all fine and good. I mean, we got bennies and savage worlds, so it's the same thing. Hero points, plot points, whatever you want to call it. And you have to, well, I'm not saying you have to, but they strongly encourage you to come up with background stuff that you can use for your character, to come up with character. It also gives the DM plot hooks, things they could use against your character or whatever to further the plot, which is okay with me. I just don't like being forced to do it. And I'm the kind of guy who will roll up a character, and if I get a great idea for a character, boom, fine. Okay, I got a background. But if I don't, I give it 3 games. By the 3rd game, I've got a character. That's the way I like to do it. I like to get him up on his feet and work it. I like to work it. I like to discover his background. I don't like to say, oh, you have to put this on the paper. I'm sure there's people out there who play 5e or 5e, who write for it or whatever, saying, no, that's not how you do it. That's not how you do it. Well, that's the impression I got. As far as the modules are concerned, I did play through the starter box set and had a lot of fun. We're going through the Tiamat stuff right now. And I have not been at that game long enough. It's from November until now, which is beginning of February. I have not been attending, and I've had one or two games under my belt, but I don't know where we are, what we're doing. But from what the impression I got from my DM is he's seen better. Um, Rise of, I can't even remember the name of it, but he said he's seen better modules, and he says he's frankly getting bored with it. So I'm not saying there's not good modules out there, but for what we've seen so far out of WotC, had one great starter session and kind of a mediocre campaign. I guess that's why he's having me run Savage Worlds in between the 5e campaign. But that's pretty much where it stands for me right now. If somebody handed me all the 5e books, I still don't know if I'd run it. They'd have to probably put a gun to my head, but I sure wouldn't mind it for stuff. Because I like, basic. I like my rule cyclopedia, things like that, or even, Labyrinth Lord or BX or something like that. I'm just an old school guy. But anything I can take that I can, like, steal for it, great. And Swords and Wizardry, I thought Swords and Wizardry is great. I'm more of a Labyrinth Lord guy because it feels kind of right. But I do like some of the things that Swords and Wizardry came up with. And I like the fact that Frog God Games gives you ascending and descending armor classes with their write-ups. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't worry about it, Lewis, about them coming out with Tome of Horrors. I'd use the probably the Pathfinder version of Tome of Horrors Complete, or one of those. Only because the fifth edition leans kind of towards Pathfinder 3E as far as like coming up with like four. But me, I've got the Swords and Wizardry version. But if you're comfortable with that, so just if you're going to go 5e, I'd go with the Pathfinder version because that's closer to 5e than the other one is. So that's my recommendation. Anyway, thank you, Lewis. And my next one is here from Mojo. Hiya, Mojo. Long time no hear. And he writes, let me first say I love your channel and the posts you've done. All excellent stuff. I also enjoy Sod and my personal favorite podcast of all time, Thaco's Hammer. Thank you. Yes, and I just found out we have a new nickname, Hammeroids. We're going to get some prep page for that. Anyway, I'm designing a tabletop fantasy RPG. The cynical side of me wants to say, well, who isn't? But I will go on. I've already had some playtests for mechanics and the like. The thing of my system is the openness of it. There's no campaign map or world. There's only the city of Evanley. The rest I leave up to the DM. I tell you this because I want the system to include both ascending and descending armor class, smart man, to allow the players to choice so they can choose the style they prefer. And it gives you the best flexibility for your material. I would encourage that for any game system. I mean, that's a plus right there. Could you please discuss descending AC complete with Thaco in a vid? I'm having trouble inventing my own. I am running into trouble with the base AC non-armored starting point. I do not want to just clone it, but I do want to take away the argument of it's too complex, which, yeah, it's a BS argument pretty much, which in my opinion is a bunch of bull. There you go. I know I'm not reinventing the wheel or anything, but I want to try and make it as easy as possible for the younger generation to grasp. I know that's a big challenge. As of right now, the base rules, you start out with 12 AC. I know old school is 10, but as I said, I don't want to be just a clone. As a non-armored armor class, if you roll natural 20, then you hit no matter the AC. I'm running into trouble dealing with negative armor class during the advancement of my Thaco table. Well, that's natural. One of the complaints about Thaco from 2E on is what they call repeating 20s. Once you get to a certain point, you go 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, because the armor class is so high or so good that it takes a 20 to hit, which I'm okay with that, really. But to me, that's like, well, natural 20, of course, crits and things like that. But the 20, 20, 20 to me goes like, okay, that's how you get a 20 with pluses. Say you roll at 18, you got a +2 sword. It's 20. You just don't crit. Negative armor class. I know that's a bugaboo for some of the younger people. And see, let me go over THAC0 real quick. Again, everybody knows it's to hit armor class 0. And what it is you have a THAC0, which, if you remember the old chart on basic, where you would write like, to hit the number you need to hit based on your armor class. Well, just look at the 0 on there. That's your THAC0. Okay? And what you do is you subtract the opponent's armor class from that number, and that's the number you need to roll over. That's all there is to it, really. Okay? And to me, if you want to do the reverse, if you're doing ascending, then just subtract it. Same thing. So, I know the -1, 2, and 3 kind of gets after a while. It's like that's where you get like I said, with the repeating 20s thing. It's like you feel like you're beating your head against the wall. And I think it's a good idea. He said he's only going to make the best armor -3. That is good. It really cuts down on the min-maxing, what we used to call in champions, an arms race. Yes, the arms race. Here's something I want to toss into the ring. Now, in 3rd edition and on, they have ascending armor class starting at 10. Okay? Gamma World, 4th edition. I don't know how hard or easy it is to find. I got mine pretty easy. At Half Price Books. I've seen them go for a lot of money. If you can get a PDF, great. It was published in this version was published in 1978. No, I'm sorry, 1992. 1992, and the reason I bring this up is because Jim Ward and company have THAC0 in here. They have descending THAC0, but they start at armor class 0, which I think is a nice refreshing way to do it. You might want to look at that because it might work out better if you're dealing with the negatives and things like that. That way, if you're going immediately negative, let me bring it up here real quick. It basically, from what I heard, that this came out, I think, before 2nd edition. I'm not sure, but it was kind of like a dry run for THAC0, which is why they did it that way. Resolving combat, TAC roll. Okay, here we go. 55. Let me read that to you real quick. 5. Here we go. The attack roll. They call it the THAC, by the way. Basic attack roll requires a character to roll a 20-sided die, of course. He adds his THAC and any other combat modifiers to his die roll. Now, a THAC starts at 0. As he gains levels, this will increase. So this is ascending armor class, but it starts at 0. So forget what I said earlier. It's ascending armor class because, like I said, this was a dry run for ascending armor class. And so it must have come out after 2nd, I guess. But anyway, you might want to look at that if you want to go the ascending thing, and it might help solve a few problems with the negatives. Other than that, that's about all I got, because to me, THAC0, it comes natural. I can figure it out in my head, because if you don't know the opponent's armor class, just roll a d20 and subtract your THAC0, and that's the armor class you hit. So that is my recommendation for that, Mojo. Thank you for writing. If I could be of any more service to you or anybody else out there, it's oldmangrognard@gmail.com. You can tell me how well or how bad I did in this time. So, all right, until next time, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.